Final match. Let's jump into the draft and the ban screen here, and there we see the proceed so far here of what has happened. We see Alliance having the first ban. It is Rona. We have the bans Scarf from Alliance, Gamers2 banning Catherine, and instantly picked here Rona, which was also played by Gamers2, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday.
Radix did get also an MVP already with a perfect Rona plays, and very, very good Scarf player as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, Gamers2 having here the answer with Celeste and Arden as a choice, and then Alliance is going to answer that with Vox and Cool. So that looks very tanky and late game.
And the thing what is coming into the picture, it is Glaive.
Wow.
As a last pick. Totally enjoying that Glaive is not celebrating a big comeback, but was not as frequently picked as an NA. And by the way, yesterday night, what happened? Gangsters got kicked out. The first seeded team out of NA got kicked out by Nemesis. And also, the first seed in Europe got kicked out by Angry Pandas.
They were super angry.
Yesterday, a lot of first seeds got kicked out.
That was super incredible.
Yeah, I guess we are loading into the fold, so I'm handing it over to you and Tasty Bacon. Carry us away with a wonderful first matchup between Alliance and Gamers2.
Alright. Welcome back to the fold from the left side. It is Alliance from the right side. It is Gamers2, Radix the laner facing Avant as usual here, and Radix playing Celeste over and over again. And Tasty Bacon, we know how strong Radix can be with Celeste, right?
Yeah, Radix is a phenomenal Celeste. Avant is actually a very good Vox though, so this should be a really interesting matchup. We're already seeing them doing quite a bit of trading back and forth. Avant, of course, starting off with the quick shooter there, gonna be, or swift shooter, sorry.
Yeah.
Gonna be a little bit healthier after that initial lane phase did pop one of his potions. But we could be having a bit of a fight here on the bottom side of the map. It looks like everyone is gonna be playing it relatively safe, or not. Alex Magic gonna walk right in, getting hit up by Glaive and a Scout Trap, taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to pop up those Scout Trap. He had a hint that there was something placed, but in the end taking more damage than he wished he would have taken. Nonetheless, here Radix going for a poke. Now Gamers2 is on the left side. Wolf fans would say behind the 50 yards line. And going here back. Dingo is supporting Radix on the lane. So both the laners equally low on HP, and the next Heliogenesis could be something. Let's check out the jungle here. Nothing too spectacular. So yeah, let's look at the item builds. Avant is here on a double swift shooter. Very interesting seeing this from time to time. It's not the first time, also yesterday. And don't worry about that. So if you think, yeah, that's a red item build, he's going weapon power. No, I can tell you that we are still playing on 1.8, and 1.9 is published. Therefore, we have the tournament servers up. We are playing on a closed environment here with a super stable connection, and Crystal Vox is the meta in 1.8. Oh, there comes Look At Me with maybe the first blood.
Yeah, look at me charging into Rex, but Rex gonna get the support of his teammates and is gonna be able to back off safely here. I really want to point out the team composition of Alliance. The Krull and Rona being on the same team is really an unconventional decision. It's kind of surprising to me to see, especially with these builds are going, both of them picking up an Iron Guard contract means that really either of them can get the last hit on the minions, and it doesn't really matter. They're both just going to be looking to try and get up some kills. It's also, those having two Iron Guard contracts seems to me like they're going to be wanting to spend a lot of time in the lane supporting Avant, which isn't a bad idea when going up against Radix. A lot of pressure can be put on to a Celeste because of the lack of mobility there. But Avant going aggressive on his own is going to actually get the one-on-one kill, but
wow,
a great job by Radix to return kill, making it a 1-for-1 trade.
I never saw that coming. I thought Reddick's going to fall, definitely, and Evan going to survive. And very interesting to mention that we see double Iron Guard contract also on Look At Me and Alex Magic. Look at the damage here now from Alex Magic. Normally he's going, yeah, he is now full support Rona. We won't see a weapon power Rona, maybe late game with a breaking point. Who knows what their tactic is, but Look At Me is going to fall. There comes Redix now, full health, back out of the base. Dark Potato with the afterburn, but somehow it did not connect. I don't know why. And look at that, the auto attack is killing off here for the third kill. Gamers2 Redix here. Strong performance across the board.
Yeah, great job here by Gamers2. Extending that fight long enough for Redx to come back from the base on the Celeste and have a huge impact. So, getting them up to that 3-1 lead. They are behind in gold, however, so... And, I mean, that's to be kind of expected when there's double Iron Guard contract. It means there's going to be a lot of bonus gold coming out from the side of Alliance. So... Nothing to be concerned about here from Gamers2 with that gold deficit, but definitely something that could end up stacking up really well for Alliance.
Very interesting. Radix, no vision at all on the bottom bush, but he could dealt more damage here in that situation to Avon, but he did not, and that was a super smart play since he knew that somehow someone was just ready for the gank, and it was Look At Me, he was present there. So Radix is just really hard to gank here. Maybe now everyone is getting ready, but Dark Potato is ready as well. Both teams going back to the jungle.
Both teams putting a lot of focus on this lane. You know, kind of expected it, as I mentioned. You know, anytime you are up against the Celeste, you want to put a lot of pressure onto the lane with your junglers.
Yep.
But Gamers2 doing a great job of predicting that and actually looking for a fight down in the jungle. They're going to be getting a lot of damage onto Look At Me on this Krull, but Dark Potato also getting dropped very low. The wait for it is not going to hit, but they will be able to pick up the kill. However, Alex Magic going to be in trouble now with the roam down from Celeste. Redix is low on energy, so I don't think they're going to get anything else off of this. Avant just trying to find a safe spot in the jungle to recall from. Gonna try and clear out some minions on the way. Solar Storm not gonna connect, but maybe going for those minions might have been a little bit greedy, as here comes the afterburn, not going to connect, but Celeste will be able to use the speed up from Arden, and they are going to find themselves a 5th kill.
Well done, and we have the betting pool up, and we have the percentages so far live on the screen. It is 62% are betting their points on Alliance, and just 38% are going for Gamers2. So the top shark at the moment here, the crowd favorite, it is Alliance, and the underdog concerning the votes from the viewers here, from the community. Gamers2 might lose this semi-finals if we listen to the votes and the betting pool. That will close in just a bit. It is so as you hear this, should not be available to bet, and we have a limited time here where you can bet.
Actually, let me jump in there. We are closing the battle pool, betting pool. Betting pool. There we go. Not battle pool. The betting pool all the time when we are loading into the fold. So.
Oh, nice fight to jump in here. A good pickup from Alliance, and Dingo is dying. Nice damage. Nice stun, and maybe he can pick up a kill. No, that was slightly too far away from Alex Magic. Ultimate for the block off, holding Dark Potato back here, not being chased by him. Well played.
Unfortunately, Redix not having the Solar Storm available. Otherwise, that could have been a double kill there. But they are going to continue chasing down, and there it goes! Solar Storm going to get the kill.
Wow.
Onto Rona, along with the Glaive using the afterburn to get in. Dark Potato and Redix just work so well together as this duo. They are going to be now instead pushing up into the lane as 3, just for a little bit, just to put pressure on Avant, make sure he has to stay safe. Gold mine still hasn't been touched. It is sitting full at 300 gold a player.
Yep.
But neither team has gone for it just yet.
So Gold Miner here, definitely the hotspot, and Radix getting ganked here from the Spectral Smite. Look at me, is picking that one up. Well done. Good job so far. And the percentage did not change so far, so that is locked in. 62% to 38 here in favor of Alliance so far. Dingo facing a 1 versus 2, but 1 versus 3, excuse me. And the Gold Miner, I think there could be a potential situation after the pickup from Radix, but Alliance, of course, don't want to get any risk, just playing it safe down.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that, like you said, after they got the kill on Radix, they didn't just immediately make a move for that Gold Miner, knowing that they would have had a 3v2 situation. But opting to play it safe here, maybe a little bit too safe. As now looking at the player levels, it's pretty even across the board. Pretty much level 9 on the junglers, although Dingo gonna be going a little bit too far forward there. Will be able to jump out to the safety of Dark Potato, and a good call here. Radix gonna solo out the Gold Miner largely while the enemy team was all visible in the lane, so they get that immense gold payout. Have to try and maybe get up and protect this turret though. Dingo just gonna run right through the enemy team without worrying about it.
Yeah, but I mean, very interesting to see that Alliance is still ahead in terms of gold. Besides that, Gamers2 pick up a full first Gold Miner, so they are doing a pretty good job here, being super efficient concerning the gold and the last hit. And let's have a look at Avant. He is 89, almost 90 versus 70 here from Gamers2 Radix. That is super good, and we know, look at me, we know Krul is a kind of more slowish jungler, but he has the same amount as Glaive has in the jungle, and that is really, really good for now, and they definitely have the upper hand for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, to be ahead in gold despite being down in kills and having a full gold mine taken away,
yep,
it just goes to show just how much they're actually getting off of those Iron Guard contracts. I mean, every time Kroll comes up into the lane looking for a gank, he's getting gold from every minion that Avant kills. But now they're going to go in a great reflex block on the afterburn by Avant. But here comes the gauntlet. Avant's not going to be able to get in. The wait for it did go through and pick up 1 kill. They did knock down Radix on the Celeste. And now they have a 3v2, another afterburn going through. But Dark Potato needs to be careful. He's getting taken down extremely low. And it's going to be another kill for this Kroll. 4-1-1. That is not what you want to see on the enemy Kroll if you are Gamers2.
Yeah, now they get the swing, now they're going to start, and look at that, Dingo can't do anything while the tower is exploding, and the gold gap here almost 3,000, or yeah, more or less 3,000 after just 11 minutes. Maybe overstay a little bit from Look at Me, but since he is super tanky with an Aegis and a Shiver Steel, that is very hard to get him down at the moment. The same goes for Alex Magic on the Fountain of Renewal, finished up that one, and another Dragonheart here, super high HP on the side from Alliance, whereas of course Radix here has the reflex block, and Dingo, the Arden here from Gamers2, is rushing that Crucible to block off here some damage. Kinda agree here on the Crucible. Could be also an early Fountain Rush, but he decides to go for the Fountain of Renewal as the second item. And last but not least, Dark Potato. He's of course heavily weapon powered with a heavy steel and a finished tension bow, so maybe we will see a late game beast as well, but for that they have to get into the late game, and I see a problem looking at the hero selection concerning the late game from Alliance for Gamers2.
Yeah, Alliance definitely having an incredibly strong late game build. I really like what Alliance has done here, really playing against the play style of Gamers2. Doing their research very well. Gamers2 is known for their incredibly aggressive playstyle, and so they actually just built completely to counter that. As we have another fight going on.
Yes,
the gauntlet is going to go down, a beautiful gauntlet, but Alex Magic is still surviving with that health regen, does finally fall, but everyone on Gamers2 is so low. Look at me just gonna charge through. A Vault still at very high health as well. Dingo is going to be the only one limping out of that fight, and Alliance is just looking very, very strong in this game.
Yeah, the fun fact is Alex Magic, he is the supporter, but he went in dealing still very, very good damage, being the focus from the enemy team, since he was just sticking to everyone, and that tactic worked out super, super fine.
Yeah, they are going back to what I was saying before, the play style being countered here by Alliance. They knowing that, I was really surprised to see the Kroll pick, because you usually against a really aggressive team that loves to be invading the jungle, you don't want to pick a Kroll or a Taka, but they decided to go for it anyway and countered it very well by instead saying, all right, you can be as aggressive as you want, we're just going to spend most of our time up in the lane and using this double Iron Guard contract to make sure that we are going to be ahead in gold. Even if you are constantly in our jungle trying to look for fights, we're still going to be ahead in gold because we just have more gold generation on our team. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Is now Redix going to be getting caught out a bit as Alex Magic trying to do some damage on the bottom side. Dingo getting taken down very low. Avant trying to chase this one out, but they will be able to disengage. Solar Storm going through, not really doing a whole lot, but this is looking very, very precarious for Gamers2. They're doing great on keeping up in kills, but that gold lead is just continuing to grow.
Yeah, and that is a problem. In Vainglory, you definitely have to have a gold lead. The kills, I would like to say, do not matter, but of course, is not right 100%. Of course, they matter, but not as much as the gold does, since you can buy, of course, better items with that. Controlling here the map objectives, such as the Kraken, which did now spawn 30 seconds ago, got replaced here with the gold miner. And now look at me, is going in. He is always sticking to someone. Look at Dark Potato. He is after burning out, luckily having here the cooldown up. And very interesting to see if we see a skirmish. Look at me, is directly going here to yeah, Redix, trying to lock him down. And once Redix has the better positioning and trying to deal some, damage, then we see, look at me, backing off. But for now, that is super deadly.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a fight up in the top lane. It's where everyone is grouping around. Of course, Kraken is up, so it's going to have to be a concern for teams. You know, if you lose 1 or 2 members, it's pretty much going to be Kraken being picked up by the opposition. So they need to be careful. As now everyone's kind of rotating around towards this bottom side. Alex Magic on this Rona, as you mentioned, full support Rona, but Rona still does a decent amount of just base damage. So it's going to be very difficult to kill because of how much health and how tanky she is, but is still contributing damage to the fights. Whereas Arden, you know, not quite, you know, he can do a little bit of single target damage, but that's about it with the B ability there. But they've been doing such a good job on Alliance of avoiding just fighting too much. I mean, we're 17 minutes in and we've got a total of 15 kills. That's such a slow pace for Vainglory, to be completely honest. I mean, we've been seeing games where one team would have 15 kills at the 17-minute mark. And they're starting up the Kraken and actually taking it down using the Rona as a distraction. Great job by Alliance, just playing objectively. And now they're going to be able to push in with this big monster.
Yeah, so I could definitely say 100% that next time Gamers2 is having the right to ban first. They might not ban Rona, but if Alliance is going to ban not Rona, then they pick it instantly. And that was definitely here a good mind game and good outdraft from the very beginning from Alliance against Gamers2. And look at that, nice damage now coming from Dark Potato onto Avon, and look at that health regeneration here. Oh, kill pickup from Radix. He can escape. Dark Potato is here. The turret does a lot of damage. He should follow up. Maybe he can pick the counter ace. Look at me now. Oh my god. What a fight here going on. 2-for-2 trade. Plus the Kraken is still on. And I think... Oh, look at that core collapse. Radix very much aware of the fact that, look at me, stays around here trying to bother him since he's out of energy. Having a big problem pushing the Kraken down as soon as possible.
Kraken did already take out one turret, and this gold lead is now up to 5,000 gold here for Alliance. Will the second turret go down? It's going to be close. One more attack might do it. Nope, it's going to take 2 attacks, and Kraken only had 1 left in her. So that is going to be the Kraken stopped, but that turret is so low. It should be a pretty easy pickup at this point for Alliance if they decide to push that. And I mean, the game is still very close, don't get me wrong. Despite the 5k gold lead, again, they're showing Gamers2 is that they can fight these still.
Yep.
And it's, you know, one bad team fight for Alliance could end up being the game.
Alright, so let's wait for the next fight here. Coming up maybe in a few, but I think Gamers2, they should wait a bit. They are behind 4,000 gold. Well, that is not too much. They are still having some decent farm here, but in the end, Alliance having the upper hand at the moment, also pushing 2 turrets here. And of course, with the nice Kraken call here, putting Gamers2 in a very dangerous spot.
Yeah, it looks like we could be having our fight. They're going to collapse onto them. The gauntlet getting dropped, trying to sanction them off, but it didn't really work. A nice solar storm though, and all of a sudden, Gamers2 deletes the entire team. What a fight!
Holy crap, I didn't see that coming. I was just seeing a bunch of guys fighting, and then all of a sudden it was just health bars melting. Well played from Gamers2, and there we see the full stacked Dark Potato ultimate. And of course the Solar Storm from Radix here taking full effect, and they just deleted them all at the same time, as you can see from the countdown timer on the bottom left.
It took a little bit longer to push those turrets thanks to the turret's defensive bonuses and not having any minions there, but that's still 1,800 gold picked up in a hurry, and all of a sudden we are down to a 1,000 gold lead for Alliance. And Gamers2, that was the fight they've been looking for all game. Fully stacked Glaive ultimate, doing so much damage to all 3 members. I just absolutely deleted every one of them after the Solar Storm went through in an instant. That was just absolutely insane. And I mean, that's what they need to do. They want those big grouped up fights.
Yep.
Whereas on the side of Alliance, you know, it's kind of a mispositioning there from Avant. He's playing this Vox. He shouldn't be directly in the front lines. I mean, I know he has to be somewhat close so he can sit there and keep getting his auto attacks off, but should not be right on top of the fight, right in the front lines like he was in that skirmish.
Alright, maybe a next fight coming up here, but doesn't seem that Gamers2 is looking for another one that early.
Yeah, Gamers2, they do have all their ultimates available now. Pretty much full energy on everyone as well, so I think their thing that they are going to be looking for is trying to force another fight in a very tight area. If they fight in an open section of the map, you know, right in the middle or in one of these triangular areas, that can allow the side of Alliance to spread out and not get caught in that big AoE. But instead, Alliance going to say, all right, you want to back off and play defensively, we're just going to capture this Kraken. I think Gamers2 has an idea that's going on because of the fact that they haven't seen any of them, but they're not even going to make a move to defend that. Instead, just having the confidence to try and kill the Kraken before it can push into their base. But again, this turret is so low. Kraken will be getting this one no matter what, and then it's just going to be a matter of trying to win the fight off of that.
Alright, so I think Gamers2 has a pretty good chance here to kill Kraken off after the first turret. The question is, how big is the pressure from Alliance here? And
great job there by Alliance taking out the turret before Kraken even gets there. That means they're gonna have the Kraken help on these double turrets instead. As Reddick's trying to get some damage down. There goes the Gauntlet to stack everyone up. Where's the Solar Storm? Where's the Glaive Ultimate? That's what they're waiting for. Solar Storm only hits 2, but it is Look At Me who dove into the team. Reddick's gets to the base, gets to safety, and now the fight is really on, but it's going to be Dark Potato falling, and unfortunately not taking anyone with him. Now Reddick's has to try and focus his Kraken. Kraken takes 1 turret. This could be game 1 going to Alliance. If they aren't able to take this down, they don't have the damage for the Kraken. Evault using a shield to stay alive, but he will go down in the end. However, this second turret is falling. Kroll able to do so much damage to structures, and this is very likely going to be the game. Look At Me still full health. Kraken still very healthy as well, and the Crystal is going to fall. Alliance picking up the first game.
wow, congratulations here to Alliance for winning the first match. That was a pretty solid draft, solid bans here against Gamers2. We will definitely see some changes on that in the second matchup, and yeah, we talked about a bit about the item builds before. Everything is pretty yeah, solid so far. Nothing too spectacular. Look at me with the Aftershock in the end. That's pretty interesting here to bring up, but otherwise, yeah, solid items all across the fold here. And I would say we are jumping directly into the second match plus the draft.